Good afternoon, all. Karen Cecilia Cross here. Um, I trust everybody had a good Christmas, and by that I mean I trust everybody ate something, or more than just one something. I trust that everybody drank something. I trust that some people even got drunk or tipsy and just celebrate the birth of the Christ child that afford us all to be here today. I want to wish you um, all the best for the new year. Don't just want to say a happy new year, but what I want to say is a happy new year in terms of what you see as what could make you happy. Or if the happiness exists already, then I want to wish it to be enhanced for you. And don't make any resolutions. Don't make any New Year resolutions. That's an advice I'm giving everyone. Don't make any New Year's resolution. The reason why I'm saying that is because every day we get up, somebody that we saw yesterday or we knew was alive yesterday died, and death has become a part of, well, it was always a part of living, but it has become more pronounced than anything else. And so living now and just get up each day is part of the privilege that we now enjoy as human beings, and we can't make no plans now. If we wake up in the morning, we just have to say to ourselves, this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to achieve this right now, because the only moment that is guaranteed to us is the moment that we are living into right now. Not 5 minutes from now, but right now. So I intend to use those moments when I get them to do all I can to make somebody's life better. And that is not a New Year's resolution. That is something I have always been doing, and I just want to do more of it now. Use every waking moment that I have to make somebody's life better and to hug as many people as I possibly can. I rediscovered the joys and emotional healing and the feeling of just hugging somebody and being hugged. Whether it's a loved one or a total stranger or just a member of the community or a man just ride on a bicycle and beg you a guineas and beg you a dragon, and you feel that hug. So that's basically what I intend to do. This voice note is going to be brief. I just want to give you a simple and short outline of what is coming very shortly. My end of year examination of Mark's third year as leader of the PNP was derailed, and so I have to come with it at some point in January, early January. Usually it will be after my birthday. I don't know if I'm going to wait that long, but if not, it is certainly by the 19th of January. And I'm going to talk about All the President's Men. I'm sure some of you have watched that movie. And if you have not, I suggest you go and look for it and watch it. All the President's Men. And I'll be looking at all the PNP presidents' men. And I'll be throwing that one woman in it, Angela Brown Burke, and line her up with the men. And we'll be looking at them. Peter Bunting, Dayton Campbell, Richard Parchment, Joyland Silvera, and of course we're going to throw in Angela Brown Burke in that mix. And we're going to look at them and the role that they play in the presidency of Mark Golding and how it came to this. And I feel we need to look at it. When I look back at particular times in history, and you know me, and I won't belong with this voice note, but you know me, when it comes to history, I go wide, and there are a lot of history to look at, but so much of it has to do with the very young democracy of America, because America is a young country comparing to some places like Iran and Iraq and places in Europe with longer, hundreds of years of history. America is barely 300 years old, and they have made such a dent on the world. And when I look back at, say, the last 30 years of American presidents, I look back and I start back at Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton did more for black people than Barack Obama did. Much, much more. So much Bill Clinton's bona fides in the black community, particularly senior people, is so much stronger than Barack Obama's that in 2012 at the Democratic Convention, when Obama was losing steam and losing ground, and there was doubts that he would have been re-elected, it was Bill Clinton who went to the Democratic Convention and call in all the chips them and bring down back the black people them back in Obama's camp and basically cruise him to 2012. It was Bill Clinton, apart from the little gaffes that Mitt Romney had. It was Bill Clinton who did that. George W. Bush also did more for black people than Obama did. George W. Bush did more for Africa than Obama and Clinton did. And when the real history is written, people will see that. You don't need to read the history, read the real history, wait for the real history. Just go back and look at it. Everything that the Congress sent to George Bush, he signed it. There was never ever quarrel about budget and too much things in the thing, and him not signed nothing. Everything Nancy Pelosi sent him, he signed it. And there was a whole heap of things in it for Africa, and Africa got it. And he never got credit for those things. Obama became president, and they hailed him as the first black president. But Obama never really acted as a black president. He surrounded himself with men of white men of an intellectual ilk and of a certain level of society. Never surrounded himself with many black people. He did have black people around him. And the mainstream media did make an effort to show up those black people, like Valerie Jarrett and all of them, and Eric Holder and all of them. But I mean, Eric Holder, for example, came from the Bill Clinton era. So he never did much. But the black people in America were quite satisfied with the fact that he had men around him directing him to not do anything much for them. And they elected him again. That it never mattered to them that he never do anything for them. What mattered to them was that them had one of their own in the White House, built by slaves. And that was enough for them. So Obama's men and women were helping to keeping him safe and keeping him grounded, and let him be the cool president that the black people, that the black young people and even the white young people like. That him cool, not bother him, and him cool. But he never achieved anything for black people, and it never bothered them. Never bothered them at all. But it bothered them that they were making up open eyes at what Clinton did, and it bothered them that them think that Bush never liked black people, and them never forgot to look at the figures and the history and how much money went to Africa and how much money went to black communities under George W. Bush. Things that nobody don't want to talk about. But the mainstream media not talking about it because they hated Bush so much. So, that is that. It's the nature of the politics. The men and women around Obama was what defined him and made his presidency, in the eyes of some, not very successful. Although them still on the hype about him being elected as president and being the first 50% black man to be elected president. And that was fine with black people. That is fine with them. And all that happened because of the people around him who knew that if him tried to get out of a box to try to actually do something for black people, it might derail him being elected a second term. It might brand him. And Obama was a coward. Him that like to fight. Him that like fight for nothing and quarrel for nothing because he want to remain the cool guy. So him couldn't sacrifice him coolness for anything good to happen for black people. Bill Clinton never really cared. Of course, we'd have a vote for a black girl down Arkansas, having sex with them and probably have a couple of people down there too, but him help black people. The people around Clinton were hardcore leftist people and very few moderates. Clinton changed in the middle of, just as the beginning of his second term, him start to move a little bit to the middle and change some things. But he already had achieved at that time a lot of things for black people. Obama got the opportunity to appoint 2 justices to the Supreme Court, and he chose 2 basically white women. Choosing 2 women wasn't revolutionary because Ronald Reagan had already chosen the first woman to the Supreme Court, Sandra Day O'Connor. So that wasn't big. And then there was Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was also appointed, I think, by Clinton or one of them. I don't remember who appointed Bader Ginsburg. I think it was Clinton. And Obama got two positions and he never even anticipated, or he never even put forward the idea of putting a black woman or another black man beside that conservative idiot Clarence Thomas as a Supreme Court justice. No, he went for two so-called Latino women, and that appeased the Latino community. Yes, but Elena Kagan is not exactly a Latino woman. I mean, her father is Latino, but her mother is a Jewish white woman. Sotomayor, I think it's Puerto Rico her parents come from. But he got opportunity to name two Supreme Court justices, and he named two white women. And the people around him were the one who guiding him. So he never have his own political and ideas to go forward. He fall in line within certain sphere. And he sat there, and that is where he operated from, being the cool president. So that's why he never achieved nothing much based on the people around him. Joe Biden get one Supreme Court justice so far. I'm hoping and praying that if he should win again, he'll get one more. But he got one, and he went straight for it. Before he became president, he said that if he got a Supreme Court nomination, he's going to appoint a black woman. He made that very, very clear. And he did. He appointed the first black woman to the Supreme Court, to a court that not very long ago ruled that black people can't sue white people. And now, because they're black, and they don't regard them as citizens. There was a time when the United States never regarded black people as citizens. The Supreme Court made that judgment in the Judge Dredd ruling. And so Mr. Biden appointed a black woman. Mr. Biden has around him people who are not only moderate, but he also have around him some progressive people. Biden have the advantage that neither Clinton nor Bush nor Obama had. Bush was governor of Texas. He have a little bit of executive experience. Clinton was also governor of Arkansas, so he had twice, I think, he was re-elected governor of Arkansas. So he had a whole heap of experience in terms of running something. So he could have run something. Obama had zero experience of running anything, because he promoted himself as a community organizer, which basically he wasn't running anything. So he had a group of men around him and some women showing him how to run things. Biden come to the job of president as a man with 50 years experience in Washington. He know every crevice and corner how to get around all kind of things, which is why he got so many things done in like 2 years or a year and a half. So many things happened because when everybody was making nice, he was wheeling and dealing because he knew how to wheel and deal. And he know how to deliver for black people. And Biden has been delivering one after the other for black people. And it is all about the people around him. The president's men and women, the people around him that help him to forge those policies and programs to help people, particularly help black people. The people around a president, a leader, the people around a leader is always enunciated by what the personality of the leader is, or who the leader is, what the leader believes in, what the leader's core belief is. Andrew Holness don't look like him, have a whole of people around him that give him advice. Andrew Holness, I've always said that Andrew Holness is a man that looks like him live deep within himself, look like him take him own advice. And I imagine him better start changing that soon. But the people around a leader usually feed off the energy and the disposition and the character of the leader, who the leader is. The people around PJ, the Vin Lawrence, the Alston Stewart, a whole heap of women, a whole heap of brown women were around PJ as well. People like Leslie Davis, Melissa's mother. All of those people were around PJ, but PJ also had business people around him and people in the lower echelon of the private sector, small business people around him, people who can speak to him on particular every issue. So, but the essence of people around the leader is usually feeding off who the leader is. You know, what the leader stands for, what is the character of the leader, the integrity of the leader. And so they act accordingly to who the leader is, according to who the leader is and what the leader believes in and what the leader would do and what the leader would support and what the leader would listen to. Yeah, you know, Peter Phillips, from as early as he was chairman for the Political Education Commission of the PMP, from as early as that, Peter Phillips gathered a group of people around him that not only have intellectual capabilities, but also knew the groundwork. Peter Phillips was probably the first one, and when he did that, Paul Robertson started making some changes himself in the party secretariat. I know we operate as a party outside of the secretariat, and underground, the underground operation started changing when Peter Phillips became chairman of the Political Education and some other committee. I think he was also in charge of the Economic Affairs Commission and something with Desmond Leakey and then something to that effect. But all of that started changing when Peter Phillips entered the PMP as chairman for that committee. And the people that Peter Phillips have had around him, he have had them from the beginning. And that says a lot about the integrity and the character of the man. Nobody has left. Nobody. Everybody stayed with him to this day. All of them, if we could start writing down their names, nobody ever jumped ship on him. You know, the people that he gathered around him and proceeded. As General Secretary, he was the one who basically revolutionized the idea of what the YO should be and what we should have been doing at the time. So the success of a leader is very much dependent on the men and women around him, the group of people that he would call his kitchen cabinet, him crew, him basement crew, the people out there in the communities, in the constituencies that him can call upon or that him call his own. It's always about that. So I'm going to have to look at Mark Golding, the president, and the men and women around him, and how what he is and who he is coincide with who they are, and how the two things collide in some respects, but also how the two things mesh in other respect, you know, how his personality and his character converge with the people around him and cause him to be the failure that he is. And we're going to look at them. We're going to look at them one by one, and we're going to talk about how we got here and the people around Mark Golding, and we're going to be calling them the president's men. And of course, the women will be included in that. So I just want to give you a little up as to what we'll be looking at very shortly. I suspect it's going to be, if it's a voice note, it's going to be kind of lengthy. If it's a live, it's also going to be lengthy. But we want to look at it and see where we'll go from here in 2024, and if there are anything on the horizon that suggests that things might start changing, or the PMP people in the communities or the delegates of the PMP, if they are still delegates, because them not seem to have them kind of status there anymore, if they will see any need to do what they need to do and make a change in the trajectory of this party. We're going to talk about that so-called 3%. Yes, we're going to talk about the Don again and how he mixed these things. And of course, I have a few things to say on the Melissa Silvera thing. And that will come into assessing each and every one of the men around Mark, Jefferson, Golden. Happy New Year, everyone. God bless you all. God bless your family. I wish for you nothing but what the good Lord wish for you. Everything that you wish for yourself might not all be good, so I don't even want to wish that for you. But whatever it is that God has in the pipeline for you, I pray you accept it. And I wish you God's blessings and good health. And I ask you to stay safe. And most importantly, please keep the children safe. God bless you all. Thank you.